Hey buddy, how you doing? So we're going to have a look at this segment from Alex Phillips on Talk TV when she's talking about Rupert Lowe. I think you'll find it interesting. Most of you have probably already seen it, but we'll take a look at it.
Now, look, I think we had an interesting little chit-chat there about Rupert Lowe, and I just want to make it very clear, and Rupert, especially to you if you're listening, I think you're brilliant. I am not going to go back from that. I think you are so talented. I think you're politically passionate. I think you've got gumption. I think your conviction when it comes to policies and what you believe in and what you want to do for this country are entirely sincere. I know you, so I don't have any doubt as to the mettle of your character. The problem is, and this isn't to say that what happened was not gross, was not awful, that you have every reason to feel aggrieved, enraged, badly treated perhaps. And I don't know particularly what was going on in the weeks and months before this big ding-dong, but I would...
Right, so you think everything that happened to Rupert Lowe was gross, so why are you still supporting a party and a man that would do this to another man? Especially a fellow MP. Why would you stand by a party that is capable of doing this? And you say yourself, you have no idea what led up to this incident or anything. So why are you defending these people if you have no clue about what actually happened? Most of us know what actually happened. Nigel Farage smeared Rupert Lowe. That's what happened. He lied about him, like he did with Ben Habib. He lied about Ben Habib too. And Nigel Farage has got a history of doing this to his political opponents, to people who he sees as a threat to him. He throws them under the bus and then he smears them. He has a track record of doing this. And yet you're here on your segment, on your Talk TV show, defending a man who defamed a man, basically tried to get him put in prison, leaked information to the press, insinuating that Rupert Lowe had dementia, and you're here defending the people that did this to Rupert Lowe. Just want to put that to you and just state what you're actually doing when you're doing this.
Just say this, we wanted you to come on this show so we can have a proper conversation. I wouldn't have, hijacked you or done some sort of gotcha. We could have just spoken. But instead you went to do the newsagents, which are a load of extreme leftists who only set out to pillory you, not really anything constructive, and really speaking to the wrong audience, because anybody who believes in reform policies aren't listening to that plasticine-faced moron and that war criminal that he sits next to. Oh no, that's the other one. That's the rest is politics. Sorry, I forgot that. Anyway, the sort of BBC has-beens who have finally come out as Corbyn lovers. Can we just take a moment to think about how stuff looks and how stuff impacts, right? Because that is what politics is all about. Let's actually have a listen to the appearance on the newsagents.
Just want to stop it there before we get into that. So she just said, can we take a look at how things impact, how things affect in politics? Well, did the Reform Party do that before it set out to attack Rupert Lowe in this vicious, vile way by trying to get him arrested, smearing his name? Did they think about the impact that would have? They didn't, did they? They just went ahead and did it. And this is the backlash, this is the reaction to that. I'm just saying.
He's not fit to be Prime Minister. He's running a cult. He's surrounded by lightweight people whose idea of policy is to wander down to the Marquis of Granby and have a pint and then come up with some sort of press conference the following day. I could join the Tory party tomorrow.
I mean, what is wrong with that? What's wrong with him saying that? All he said there is true. Nigel Farage has built up a cult of personality around himself. He's centralised power around himself. All the way through this interview, you conveniently don't mention the fact that the Gateshead branch of the Reform Party has just completely quit. They've all quit. The whole branch has quit their positions. I covered it in a video earlier today. You don't mention that. You just think the problem with the Reform Party is outsiders criticising it. It's not. It's internal. It's the leadership. It's the leadership of the Reform Party. That is the issue. The grassroots, the branches that do all the hard work, they're the ones taking the brunt, that are being micromanaged, bullied, by Nigel Farage. So this isn't just outside external forces causing trouble for the Reform Party. It's an internal issue as well. There's an internal civil war going on between the right-wing elements and Nigel Farage, who's trying to take the party to the centre ground. And indeed, it's more or less leaning to the left than it is to the right. And this is the issue that people have that signed up to the Reform Party. It's not the party that they originally signed up to be a part of. It's changed. It's morphed into something else. It's morphed into some strange centre-left party that just isn't interested in the issues that the people who joined it are interested in.
I think.
Have they made overtures to you?
I could join them. I mean, look, I talk to all of them all the time, and I think some of them are very good people. And as I say, there's some extremely able young Tories who I think share a Tory agenda.
Mm.
Now, first of all, the Marquis of Granby is a heritage institution that me and Gawain Taylor used to use in our UKIP years as...
Right, she waffles on here about, it's okay to go down to that pub and, discuss issues. But what Rupert Lowe is saying is, he's not talking about that. He's saying that Nigel Farage, they'll all go down to this pub and they'll just off the cuff, just make up some bullshit policy and then have a press conference about it the next day. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about there's no concrete policy being formed or made. It's just off the cuff. And this is something that Gerard Batten brought up as well, because if you remember in one of his interviews, he said he spent weeks and months creating policy that Nigel Farage would just, overturn in seconds in an interview because he flip-flopped and he changed policy. And, all the work that Gerard Batten had done was out the window because Nigel Farage had just gone in a different direction. This is what Rupert Lowe is talking about. They make things up on the go instead of just sitting down in that pub and deciding a plan of action, a way forward of what they're going to do in the future. They just, we'll just do a press conference tomorrow and we'll talk about this. This is why their press conferences are so shit. They're nothing burgers. How many press conferences have they had where we thought, oh, well, this is going to be exciting, and it just turns out to be just some nonsensical bullshit. It's just to grab headlines. It's just to grab attention. There's nothing concrete about it. There's no substance to it. And this is what Rupert Lowe is talking about. This is one of his issues that he had with Nigel Farage when he was criticising him. He's saying we need structure. We need different spokespeople to be talking about the different issues that we represent. And that wasn't happening. And we can see why it's not happening. Because Nigel Farage, like I said in my previous video today, won't delegate power. He doesn't like anybody else having any sort of power that is equal to his. This is why he's micromanaging all the branches. He doesn't want them to have any power. He wants final say on everything. He's a dictator. He's a cult leader. Rupert's right. It's a cult. It really is. And people like you just can't seem to see it because you're all doughy-eyed over Nigel Farage, just like June Slater, just like the Preston journalist. You can't see beyond the smoke and mirrors because you're so dazzled by the personality of Nigel Farage. Fortunately, there are people like Rupert Lowe, myself and others that can see through that smoke and mirrors act, and we can see there's nothing behind it, there's no substance. And that's why the Reform Party isn't the party to save this country. The branches are now starting to come round to realise this as well. They complain there's no policy, there's no structure being formed. Why is that, Alex? Why is that? A party, the Reform Party just didn't suddenly materialise overnight. It's also been the Brexit Party. It just morphed into the Reform Party. They just changed the name. They've had years to come up with concrete policy about certain issues to be ready for government, and it just hasn't happened. They haven't democratised the party. Nigel Farage and Zai Yousaf still hold the controlling shares of the company. Those were supposed to be dissolved, and the membership, the subscribers, were supposed to become members and have a say in how the party is run. That hasn't happened, and that is something that Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe criticised Nigel Farage over. This is something they wanted. They wanted to professionalise the party, make it a democracy, so that the membership, which it doesn't exist yet, they're not members, they're subscribers, so the subscribers would have the ability to choose the leaders of their party. They simply can't do that at the minute, and they never will, because Nigel Farage will not surrender power. It's not in his nature.
a kind of office because UKIP didn't have a great amount of money. It had offices, European Parliament offices in a building nearby, but you couldn't use those without getting into a Marine Le Pen level of trouble because it would be European funds being used for domestic policy. And so there's been a strong heritage of people who work for that party having their socials in the MOG. Nothing wrong with that. Equally, when it comes to writing policy, it takes years. You've got to research it, you've got to cost it, you need a kind of think tank to set up to make sure that when you go.
Nigel Farage and co have had years to create this policy. They had their time in the Brexit Party. Why wasn't it done? Ben Habib was, getting it together, was getting that done. Nigel Farage not interested. This didn't happen in the UKIP either. No concrete policy or anything. Nigel Farage made it up as he went along. Went to the Brexit Party, made it up as he went along. Turned into the Reform Party. He's making it up as he goes along. Look at what he said in the press conference before the local elections. We're going to deport all the illegal immigrants. We're going to have a Minister of Deportations, and we're going to tell you the policy after the elections. What's the point in doing that? He had no intentions of making any policy. It was just to grab a headline, to get a few more people to vote for the Reform Party. No intentions of doing that whatsoever. Just like he had no intentions of the independent grooming gang inquiry. That was just to grab headlines. The guy is a charlatan. He is an absolute charlatan, and he's giving false hope to thousands of people who deserve better, in my opinion.
And present your manifesto ahead of the most important election that's going to happen potentially in a century, you are making promises that you can deliver. And we're not at that stage in the electoral cycle yet. If they had turned up with a full manifesto right now, everyone would be saying, well, you only just really came into existence about 2 seconds ago. What do you know? We can't believe what's written on.
It's not 2 seconds ago, is it? The Brexit Party just changed its name to the Reform Party. So it's been around for a fair few years, hasn't it? It's been around since 2019. So what is that? That's 6 years. They've had 6 years to create policy, concrete policy, to get behind. And they haven't done it, have they?
That piece of paper, and then you'll be held accountable if things have to change over the course of time. You're doing a U-turn, you lied about this. It's not, this is how politics works, right?
Nigel Farage is doing that already, U-turning. He's already U-turning on certain issues. Before, in November, when he was doing all the interviews, and this is Nigel Farage again, making shit up as he goes along, saying, I've got no political interest in mass deportations. No political interest. No actual political ambition for mass deportations. A few months later, when it's convenient for him to say so, when it will get him more popularity, because again, he's behind the wave, he's behind the curve on this. He suddenly U-turns and said, "Yeah, we're gonna mass deport all the illegal immigrants, and we're gonna have a Minister of Deportations." He's already U-turning on issues.
Been in it for a long time. And when people come into politics with great intentions, sometimes they don't get the game. They don't get the system. It is its own industry. It operates in its own way. And the most important...
And the thing is, Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib are coming in to smash that system apart, aren't they? That's what they're doing. That's why they're saying the things they're doing. They want to be different from the mainstream. They want to be different from that system that the Reform Party is so desperate to be a part of. So they want to be different from that game, as you mention it. That's what sets them aside from the Reform Party. This is why, when they launch their party, when they do, thousands upon thousands of people are going to flock to them. They are. Because this is the sort of party we want. We don't want more of the mainstream, like the Reform Party is becoming. We want a party that just smashes the system apart and rebuilds it from the ground upwards. That's what we need. That's what we want. That's what the people of this country want. We don't want more of the same. We don't want to play the game anymore. We're sick of the game. The game has delivered nothing. It's delivered as Prime Minister after Prime Minister that is just weak and useless. The game needs to stop, and we need to start afresh.
Thing in politics is, well, two. One is the policy making. Two is the communication. as a politician, you are the person that stands between the mechanisms of state and the general public. You are that vessel of democracy. So you need to be able to be in listening mode and explaining mode simultaneously. And the problem I have with this is this brilliant talent, Mr. Lowe, is it's just not working anymore. I'm just going to read some of these, literally just reading comments underneath the Telegraph podcast.
She's now going to start reading comments from Farages, the cultists, about Rupert Lowe.
Rupert, this country is in a terrible state. Can you please shut up now? We know you got effed over by them, but we need reform to rid us of...
Okay, listen to this comment. We know you got fucked over by them. We know that your life got absolutely, totally destroyed by them. We know you got raided by the police because of false claims made by Zaya Yusuf. The police raided his home, armed police raided his home and took away his guns, even though he'd actually said, yeah, I'm going to volunteer these guns. I'll bring them in, you can have them, sort of thing. They raided his home. These people tried to ruin his life completely. They falsely said that he made death threats against Zaya Yusuf, which is insane. And why somebody of Alex's intelligence isn't putting two together and thinking, hang on a minute, right, so these claims were made back in around Christmas time, yet Zaya Yusuf only reported Rupert Lowe to the police in March, when it was convenient for him to do so, to do maximum damage to him, after he made those criticisms about Nigel Farage. And Alex isn't putting this together, that thinks there's something not right here, this sounds like it's dodgy, this sounds like they're trying to smear Rupert Lowe. But she's not, she's trying to defend these people. She's trying to defend the indefensible. It's not defensible at all. Rupert Lowe has got every right to be angry at the Reform Party. He's got every right to say that Nigel Farage isn't the man to run the country, because he's not. Look at what he's capable of. He's capable of setting the police via using false claims to try and silence his opposition, to try and get his opposition arrested and put in prison. That is not somebody we want as Prime Minister of this country. It's not. We've already got somebody like that already in 10 Downing Street, called Keir Starmer.
Starmer. You cannot do it by starting another party, nor can Ben Habib.
Both arguments that were used against the Reform Party when it started up by the Tories. They say, you can't change the country, you've got to vote for the Tory party. You can't change the country by creating a new party. So if that's the case, then the Reform Party shouldn't exist, should it? You're making exactly the same arguments that the Tory party made against the Reform Party when it started up. It's rubbish. It's absolute rubbish.
And then other people basically saying, this is just really unedifying. Just comment after comment after comment. It's a pity the pair fell out, as they really have the same ideas about what's going on with this country, particularly with immigration. We need as much positivity as possible, not...
I'm sorry, but no. Rupert Lowe and Nigel Farage are polar opposites on immigration. They really are. Look at Nigel Farage's net zero policy on immigration. So it's basically, 100,000 Brits out, 100,000 immigrants in. That, like I said, the actual branch, the Gateshead branch, said the net zero policy on immigration is absolute bullshit. It doesn't make the country any better whatsoever. So they're polar opposites on immigration and illegal immigration. Rupert Lowe wants a complete stop to immigration until we can take back and, basically reconstruct our infrastructure. He says he wants a freeze on immigration, legal immigration, for at least 5 years. That's not Nigel Farage's policy.
This bickering. I'm starting to wonder if he was just infiltrating reform and this was his intention.
So this is basically a Faragist, total Faragist, saying this. Rupert Lowe was always trying to infiltrate the party to destroy it. The Reform Party destroyed themselves. Rupert Lowe didn't do any of this. This is all Nigel Farage is doing. Rupert Lowe was doomed from the moment Elon Musk said that Rupert Lowe would make a better leader of the Reform Party than Nigel Farage. That sealed his fate, because regardless of what Rupert Lowe said after that point, Nigel Farage had his sights set on Rupert Lowe because he saw him as a threat. That's what happened.
All along, someone else says he really is a smug man. He's not. He's a lovely man. I care for him dearly. But Rupert, mate, it's...
Why would you read that comment out if you don't agree with it? Why would you read it out?
I'm not sure this is working out for anybody. You know, let's just put politics and the nation first, because we...
Right, did the Reform Party put politics and the nation first before they decided to destroy a man, try to destroy a man's character, try to destroy his career? Did they do that? No, they didn't, did they? So why should Rupert Lowe? Rupert Lowe is actually putting the country first before anything else, and that's what gets up Nigel Farage's nose. Look at Rupert Lowe. He went out and he did what he said he was going to do. He got crowdfunding for an independent grooming gang inquiry. He did it. He set out and he achieved it. Did Nigel Farage do that? No, he didn't. Did Nigel Farage go into Parliament and, you know, get some... Yeah, I keep forgetting what this is called every single time, what it's called. It'll come back to me. I'll talk about it in a bit. But basically, Rupert Lowe went into Parliament and he got MPs to sign, you know, up to a free speech piece of legislation. He got them to sign up to a piece of illegal immigration legislation. Did Nigel Farage do that? What has Nigel Farage exactly done since he's been in Parliament? What has he done? Rupert Lowe's done far more than any of the Reform Party MPs have ever done. Even when he was in the Reform Party in Parliament, what was it? Over 900 questions to different MPs and agencies within the government. Nigel Farage, 119. Sorry, 39. 39 questions. 39 questions versus 900 plus. So who in Parliament was doing more work? Obviously Rupert Lowe, wasn't it?
During the Conservative Party era, that when people start blathering on about how much they dislike each other in public, everyone looks like a moron.
I'm sorry, are you just, I'm going to swear, are you a fucking idiot, right? Look at everything that's happened to Rupert Lowe, right? Do you really think he's a moron for saying he dislikes Nigel Farage for the way that he's treated him over the past few months? Where Nigel Farage has basically tried to destroy this man. He released the KC report early. They, you know, the KC and Rupert Lowe's lawyer got together and they decided that it would be released at a specific time. Rupert Lowe wasn't even given the opportunity to talk to the KC before the report was released. Nigel Farage did this to smear Rupert Lowe. And you're saying that, oh, he's a moron for talking ill of Nigel Farage in public. You're an idiot. You're an absolute idiot. I used to like you. I used to think you were a decent person, but you're just a fucking idiot.
Just, you know, I despair.
And that was it. What an absolute vapid waste of oxygen that was. So to use your segment to come out and defend the indefensible and then blame Rupert Lowe was despicable. Absolutely despicable. Again, we've got, you know, we've got all these people that are throwing in with the wrong crowd. We've got Andre Walker, we've got the Preston journalist, we've got June Slater, and now we've got Alex, whatever her name is, Alex. You know, the Reform Party is collapsing in upon itself, and it will. It will just implode. Because, like I said before in my previous video, the minute Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe form this new party, all the infrastructure, all those branches that have been alienated by the leadership of the Reform Party are going to defect to this new party that they're going to launch. The Reform Party after that will fall apart. And I wasn't going to talk about in this segment, but the new, what is it, Sarah Pochin, the new Runcorn MP, has said that she's going to vote for the assisted dying bill tonight. She's going to vote for it. What an absolute clown show the Reform Party has as MPs. They're all as vapid as each other. They're just useless. There's just nothing to them. They're just a facade, aren't they? There's just nothing behind them. They're just there to get on the gravy train, say a few things in Parliament, have a few wisecracks. You know, Lee Anderson the other day, having a few wisecracks back and forth with Jeremy Corbyn. It's just a pantomime. It's a pure and utter pantomime with the Reform Party. They're fully in the pantomime of Parliament. The only person that's really taken it seriously is Rupert Lowe as an MP in there, unfortunately. And unfortunately, Alex has thrown her lot in with the wrong crowd. And again, she's trying to defend the indefensible. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. This is Vindicator. Sign off. So see you in the next video.